Hello everyone, I'm Alfian and today we are going to solve the LeetCode challenge on the challenge number 171 called the Excel sheet column number. And for this particular challenge we are using a TypeScript or JavaScript as our language. If you want to use something else other than TypeScript or JavaScript, then go ahead, I encourage you to do so. And for this particular challenge, given a string of the column title that represents the column title as appears in an Excel sheet, return its corresponding column number. And for this example, we have the letter A, which is the column title of A in Excel or Google Sheets, which is converted into the numerical value as 1. But B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, and so on and so forth until Z is 26. And finally, if it's already been depleted, then we are continuing back to two letters, which is A and A, and then A and B until A and Z, and finally B to BA, BB, BC, BD, and so on and so forth. If it's already reaches the Z and Z, then of course we are starting all over again from the A and A, which is triple A. And we have the function of the title to number right here, which is takes one parameter called the column title in the form of string, and the expected output is in the form of number. And we have the example 1 right here, which is the column title, which is A, and the output is of course 1. And for the example 2, which is AB, since AB is after the Z is 26, AA is 27, then of course AB is 28. We can still tell that it is 28, but how about for column title converted into a number like this example, which is example 3? We have Z and Y. How do we count this? Since an alphabetic letter always ends in Z or at index of 26, I believe. Since A is 1, then Z is 26. Then of course starting all over again to A, it's called it as 27, which is 26 multiplied by 1 and then plus 1. So we get Z as the 27th. But how do we solve this if the Z is on the second letter, which is the parent letter as the Y right here? We can just convert this. Let's say we have this AB. Let me use the visualization. AB, since A is considered 1 and B is considered 2, then we can use A. Since A is only as the parent, then of course we need to use the A as the, since Z already 26, then this second A in front of the B is considered 27, is by using the 26 with the exponent of 1, and we still got 26. And then A is 26 and then plus B. Since B is 2, then we need to count B into 2. So for the first A, we have the 26 value, 26, and then B is supposed to be 2. Then we need to count this as 28. But what about the first A right here? It is fairly easy since A is counted as 1 and there is no letter in front of the A, which is only single digit A right here. Then of course we can just use 1 right away, but we can use this recipe or the formula by using the 26 with the power of 0. Since this one letter is only one letter, then of course we have the exponent of 0. If we have two letters, we have the exponent of 1, and if we have 3 letters, we have exponent of 2, and so on and so forth. So that's how we determine this in order to get the final answer as the conversion from the column title from Excel into the column number. So let's solve this out. For the example 1, we have the column title, which is A, which is 26 with the power of 0 or the exponent 0, and then plus 1. Since 26 with the exponent of 0 is considered 0, then we need to use 0 plus 1. We have the answer of 1. How about Z and Y? It is very easy. We can use the 26. Since Z is 26, Z is equals to 26. Then we use 26 and then times or multiplied by another 26 with the exponent that we need to determine. 26 with the exponent of, since they have two letters, then we need to use the exponent by 1. And 26 multiplied by the 26 with the power of 1, we got the value of 26. Then we need to calculate 26 by 26, which is the result. We still don't know the result, but for the y right here, y is 25. Then the sum of the result of the 26 by the 26 with the 25, we got the result of 701. Let's use a calculator. We have the result of 676, and then added by another 25, since 25 is represented as the y right here. Then we need to count these two, and we have the result of the 701. Let me doodle this again. 26 multiplied by the 26 with the power of 1, since we have two letters, then we got the value of 676. Then for the y right here, the last letter of y, this one, the first one which is z, and the second one which is y, and we have the value of 25, and sum those two, we got the result of 701. The same thing also applies for if we have three letters. We can just use that letter. Let's say if we have f, z, and then y, we can use f, since f is the sixth letter, I believe, 6 with the power of the 26 with the exponent of, since we have three letters, then f is placed on the third letters or the third position. Then of course we need to use exponent 2, and the result will be added with the next one, which is the z right here. Since z is the 26th letter of the alphabetical, then of course we need to use the multiply operator with the 26 with the power of 1. And finally y, we have y as the 25th letter multiplied by the 26 with the power of 0. Then of course we got the final result of this formula. Please do remember that f is 6, z is 26, and then y is 25th position. So how do we convert this into the JavaScript or TypeScript? We can first declare a let variable called the answer. We can declare this as 0, and for the next one we need to return the answer as for now. But before this, we need to iterate the column title as a string. We can iterate this like an array by using a for loop. Using for loop of the single pass, we can use let I is equal 0 as long as I is below the column title dot length, and then we can use I plus plus. And then for the first one, we need to determine or define the exponent value. If we happen to go to the leftmost, since y is exponent 0, z is exponent 1, then of course the next one should be exponent 2, exponent 3, 4, and so on and so forth. So we need to declare the exponent of the constant exponent. We need to declare the exponent by using the column title. We can take the column title dot length and then subtract it by the current I, and then subtract it again by 1. And then we can use the console.log to see the exponent if we declare this from left to right, from the correct number of exponent based on the position every column title as we iterate the column title string. So let's run the code to see the console.log output, and we have the exponent of 0 since we only have one letter of the first test case. For the case 2 right here, we have AB, and of course the standard output, which is the first exponent iteration or the first for loop iteration, we have the value of 1. Since value of 1, we can use the value of 1 as the exponent from the letter A right here, and the value 0, we can use this as the exponent of the letter P. And for the case 3, we still have the same thing, just 1 and 0, so it is decreasing over time. Okay, so since we already know the exponent is working as intended from left to right, which is from the most number to the least number possible, which is starting from the length of the string and up to the point to the number 0 as the last string on the right. So for the next one, we need to declare the let, which is the ladder index using constant instead of let. You might want to use let or constant, but it doesn't matter because we are only declaring the ladder index based on the current iteration of the for loop of the iteration of the column title string. We can treat the string as the array starting from the left to right. Hence the let I is equal 0 as long as I is column title dot length and then I plus plus. We are iterating from the left to right one by one, from this and then this one and so on and so forth. We need to declare the ladder index. The first one that we need to do is to convert the ladder into a number variant. How do we do this? If we have the ladder A, convert this as 1. If we have ladder B, convert B into 2. We can use the if we look over the MDN docs, which is we have the method called the charCodeAt. It's a method of string values return integer between 0 representing the UTF code unit at the given index. So we have the sentence right here and the index is 4. It is pointing to the q right here, lowercase q, and if we happen to run this, we have the lowercase q as the char code of 113. But if we use b, we can run this, we have 112. How about a? We have 97. What if we have, let us modify this to minimize the confusion. We have the letter A and the index is 0. And we have the Unicode or character code value of the 65. How about B? B is 66. C is, I believe, 67. Yes. And then finally Z is supposed to be 90. Since we already know the uppercase A is 65, then we need to use 65 subtracted by 64, and we can run this and we get the ladder of 1, which is the conversion from the ladder into the numerical variant. What happens if we convert Z into the ladder index? Then of course we got 26, which already normalized as we want it. We can use this formula using the charCodeAt of the current index, and don't worry about the index, we can utilize this further in our code, and we can use subtracted by the 64. We can use the column title, the charCodeAt method, and inside this method we can determine the current index, which is we can use the current I, which is the first letter, the leftmost letter, starting from the leftmost letter, and we can subtract this by the 64. And we can use console.log of the ladder index to see what we are trying to work, to see every letter on each column title. We have the first letter, which is the A. We have conversion, the numerical conversion. AB, A is 1 and B is 2, so perfect. And about the case 3 right here, we have Z, which is 26 on the first iteration, and then Y on the second iteration is 25. Okay, so we good to go, and we can just solve this right away by using the answer. We can use the addition operator, and we can assign the ladder index multiplied by the 26 with the power using the power or exponent operator using the double asterisk sign. If we look over the MDN documentation again, using the exponentation, and this is the operator returns the result of raising the first operand to the power of the second operand is equivalent to math.power. And if we look over here, we have 3 with the power of 4, or the 3 exponent 4, and we have the expected value of the 81. What if we use 26 with the power of 0 and we got the value of 1? What if 26 with the power of 1 we got the value of 26? How about the power of 3? We got the value of 17,576. So let's go back to our code. We can utilize the exponentation operator using the exponent, using this constant variable. And we can just run this code to see if it works, and we can compound the answer as on every iteration. So we have the accepted answer. On the three of them, we have the 701. So this one is going to accumulate every ladder index based on the current iteration. Z is 676, and then it is going to be accumulated as the answer, and then added by another y, which is 25, and we got the, since answer already 676, then of course it will be added to the next one, which is 25, and we got the final answer as 702 and the 701, I'm sorry. And the for loop will stop because it is already reached the end of the iteration. So let's submit our code to see if it really works. Okay, so that's about it. I hope you understand my explanation. If you still don't understand, you can ask me in the comment section, or if you have any better solutions regarding this challenge, tell us what you think in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have figured it out, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.